Yes, sir. You know what time it is.
Oh, yes.
We're here once again. It's Parking Lot Parables.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
Matt P.
And I'm Jeremy Chase.
And we are here once again coming at you with another episode. We're going to talk about a little something here today.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. It's been another episode, and it's been a pretty all right week. How was your week, bro?
It was interesting.
I feel
So, what we want to talk about today, this is something we've both walked through, in our dating lives.
Yeah.
And I remember reading a meme saying, like, once you hit 27, it's stepdaddy time then at that point.
Yep.
So I had to ask myself, I'm like, I ain't really willing to accept that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, but, like, we're not here to necessarily talk about being a stepdad per se, but are we ready to be a father?
Yeah, man. Like, fatherhood is like one of the most important things in a man's life. Like, it's their legacy. It's what you leave behind, man. Like, being a father is so important. And, like, I don't think a lot of people know the weight that it carries to be a father. Mm-hmm. Like, man, like, children's mindset are based on mostly fathers. Like, there's so many little girls without fathers or little boys without fathers, and they're not shown what a man's supposed to do or what a man's how he's supposed to lead or treat someone else. So when you pose the question, are you ready to be a father, you have to really look at what all responsibilities it takes to become a father. Like, man, and for me, I say that I am, but I'm at the same time, I'm patient. Like, I'm not out here trying to visit a sperm bank and be like, I need a child right now. But, like, when that time comes, I'm ready to be a father. Like, I'm positioning myself to have a family, to be a leader of my own home, to be, someone that can lead and guide in my household. Like, and fatherhood, like I said, it's a lot of weight that comes with it. Like, you gotta be the one that makes the hard decisions. And, like, like, just even leading as a 2-parent household, like, we really have to reconstruct our, especially black families, man. Like, it's time to, like, bring it back to the original plan of God. Like, we really gotta have a mindset of, like, just being in our child's lives, like, being ready to take on their responsibility. So,
and like, the role of a father has been taken lightly for so long that it's no longer being taken seriously by everyone else.
That's true.
Younger people, women, a lot of women especially, like, I've met some women who don't seem to think that their children don't need a father figure. And why is that? Because of what they've experienced. Well, they rather just like deal with it themselves instead of have any man that's gonna just drag their kids along, try play with their emotions. I mean, and I can understand that, because that leaves a deep scar on people when you're like, you make empty promises. You tell them you go do something, you're not there.
Man.
You don't invest time in them. I watched the video where these guys was like, well, I help them financially. Some men think if they help financially, they've done everything they need to do.
Exactly.
There's more to it than just helping financially. You know, I met a guy a few weeks ago. He was like, he had his first child. I think he said when he was like younger, but he had another child like 15 years later or something like that. He was a way better father the second time, because you know, when you're older, you're wiser, you know more things, you're more patient. And I was like, that made sense. I'm like, a lot of people probably do, they have children too early.
Yeah, that is true, man.
Like, y'all gotta quit with the hunching out here, man. Like, y'all just hunching aimlessly.
Yeah, like you gotta be careful, man.
Like, I mean, and it's not worth it. Like, you're doing all that work for a few seconds of pleasure.
Yeah.
And then about 18, 21 years of heartache come after it. Why? Because you laid with someone that you should not have been with.
Yeah, like even in, you know, choosing someone, you really have to have that mindset. Would I be okay if this woman or if this man has my kids? Like, if this were to be the father of my children, or if this were to be the mother of my children, would I be happy with the outcome if something were to happen? Like, man, you gotta even think about that in dating. And I'm not saying, you know, go out there and smash, you know, when you dating, but what I'm saying is you gotta really look at every aspect of, is this person ready for a commitment? Is this person willing to stay with me the long haul?
Like, can I see myself building something with this person? Are they taking the necessary steps? Maybe they don't have everything established, like, but are they taking the necessary steps? The necessary steps to build, like, say, establish good credit, you know, save money. Maybe if they're not in school right now, what are they doing with their career? What are their future goals? Do they have goals? Vision, it's important. Plan. Do they have vision? You know, like, the last person you want to be with is a visionless person. Someone who can't really hear from God. Like, man, they ain't gonna understand you
at all. Like, you know, and a lot of people, they don't get the order of why, you know, God has the man as the leader. Like, because I truly believe that, you know, once the man is able to hear God, like, it sets the whole family up. And I'm not saying that, you know, that only the man hears from God, but what I am saying is that when the man's in place, it seems like the family tends to flow more easily and more better. But, you know, with every case, it is different, because, you know, there's some men out there who are trash and they are married. And, like, you know, you really got to, like I said, you got to know the person before you make that commitment of marriage, make that commitment of having a child, like, all of that. Like, you really got to get to know them, and, you know, just look at their mindset, how they think, how they do things. Like, when they're out and about, are they thinking about you and your future? Like, you know, it's little subtle signs you can see of whether, you know, this person is vision minded or they just out here winging it, you know. Like,
if you can look at it objectively, that is. And that's the problem and that's one of the problems with having premarital sex with someone. And it clouds, like, you know, you got some people that'll be like, oh, well, how can I drive a car? How can I buy a car without a test drive? All right, cool. All right, you don't buy a car without a test drive, but you ain't talking about a car. You talking about your life. And it only takes one time. I mean, I know people who've wrapped it up. They've been on, like, pills and everything and messed around and still had a baby.
Man,
like, you have to really take it in consideration. Like, you can't, like, the more you sleep with someone, the less inclined you are to make a solid sound decision when it comes to that relationship with that person. Like, you're less inclined to see, like, they could be cheating on you. Prime example. They could be cheating on you, but if the sex is good, you less inclined to notice it at first. Or if somebody tells you, you less inclined to believe it. You know, because you no longer can see clearly.
Yeah, once you create that soul tie, like, you know, it will like cloud your head on, like, and it's hard to like defeat that, man. Like, when you make that tie to someone, like trying to unbind yourself from it, like, you really got to put in some work. Like, it's a process. And speaking of which, I want to talk about, like, as far as, like you said before, a lot of people feel like they're destined to be stepdads. Like, so my question is, like, are you first willing to become a stepdad, you know, of a woman that has already had children? And second, how do you feel about that?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Hold on, what was the question again?
Are you, like, say you were to date someone who had children, and this is all hypothetical, of course, would you be willing to accept that, as far as, like, how would you lead that family, and what would you expect from her as a mother? Like,
you know, I was, like, very open to the idea of dating a woman with children. I've done it a few times. It was cool. But now I'm not really too keen on the idea anymore, because now, at the time, I didn't really see it as a whole picture. There's a lot to deal with when it comes to dating a single mom. Not just the mother and her children, and having to, like, gracefully develop a relationship with both individually, the children and the mom. You know, showing the mom that you care not just for her but her children. Yeah. There's more to it than that. You got to deal with, I mean, not of course, whenever you get into a relationship, you got to deal with that person's family, but now you got to deal with them children's father's family.
Yep. The whole nine.
Like now you gotta, like, if he's a little drama queen, then, I mean, now you got to deal with him.
Yeah.
And if his family is as ignorant as he is, now you got to deal with them.
Yeah.
So, and I used to also think that single moms treat you better. Yeah, I find out that ain't always true either. I mean,
I think it's split. I think those who are, like, goal-minded, they'll treat you better, but those who, one, if they're not Christ-like, they're definitely not going to treat you better. But if they're really striving to love God and really get to know Him and to build a family God's way, I believe they will treat you better.
Yeah, it's an individual thing. That's what basically where I'm getting at. Like, individually, like, you can run into a single woman that has no kids that treats you like a king, or vice versa, doesn't. And then you can run into a single mom that treats you like a king, or vice versa, doesn't. It's just it's an individual thing. That's what I was getting at. Like, I just thought, in general, single moms treat you better because, you know, they've dealt with trash dudes before. And then I find out that just wasn't true. I mean, it really just depends on the individual.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, and then you got to worry about, are the kids bad?
I mean, yeah, that too. Like, man, it's interesting coming into a relationship with a woman that has kids. Like, there's a lot to play into it. There's different ages. Like, you know, they could be going off to college. You know, we're getting to that age where that's a possibility.
Yeah, and it's weird too.
And, you know, like, there's different just aspects of it, you know, especially when there hasn't been a parent in the home for so long, but now all of a sudden you're able to step in and lead and guide. Like, my main thing is, will she allow me to lead the kids as if they are my own? You know, I think a lot of times, especially women, they like to play this role like, these are my kids and my kids alone. Like, you know, they don't want any involvement with anybody else. Like, they want the final say-so on everything that involves their kids. And, like, that's really not the plan of God. Like, God meant it for men and women to come together to make critical decisions, like, you know, because men have a different perspective as well. So my thing is, if I were to date someone with kids, on, like, will she allow me to lead them as the father that I know I can be? You know, because sometimes, you know, you got some women that are overprotective of their kids, and like sometimes that can ruin your kids. Like if they're so overprotective that they don't discipline them in the right ways, they don't even some like they don't nurture and love them in the right ways. Like some they don't really affirm their kids. Like how many people, and there might be people with kids watching right now, how many times have you told your child that you love them? How many times have you told your daughter they're beautiful? How many times have you uplifted your son? Like there's not much of that going on. But during this time and era, especially with black women and boys and girls, they need that, because they see all this killing going on, they see all the rioting, they see all these police brutality. They have to be reminded in this time and era that they're worth somebody. Like they are somebody, they're worth living. Like you really got to even look at it in that aspect. Like, you know, does my child feel love? Does, like, because a lot of times we'll go about our days and don't even consider our child. Like, you know, especially when they're in school, it's like go to school, come home, barely talk to each other, and then it's like you just repeat the cycle. It becomes a daily process where it's like you don't really ask them how they're feeling, how they're taking everything in, especially during this pandemic, man. Ask your kids, like, how are you dealing with this?
You know, with everything that's happened, that really shouldn't have been a problem these last 6 months.
Exactly, man. Like, it's crazy.
Last 6 months.
Some people have been in the house this 6 months and really haven't even checked on their kids. Yeah, they're there with you, but like, you really gotta ask them, like, hey, how are you dealing with this? Are you okay? Like, you know, what's going on in your life that you're dealing with? And like, man, that's why you have to start that open communication early. Like before they even able to talk, you gotta talk to your kids. Allow that open door so they can come to you. Like, man, I don't want my kids to learn from the world.
Right. No,
like,
that's a no.
Like for real, like even in church, man, it seemed like kids learn more in church than they do from their own parents. And that shouldn't be the case. Like we're the ones that, you know, that show them how to live this Christian walk out. But, you know, people have dropped them off and, like, you know, just allow the church to just control their mind however they want. So, like, even in that aspect, you gotta be there for them kids. Like when I become a father, man, I'm gonna be involved in their life. Like, no matter what, whether I'm working a regular job or entrepreneurship, whatever, bro. Like, I'm gonna be there at every game. I'm gonna be that dad that just shows up, man. I don't have time to miss out on all these memories with my family, because my family is more important than anything I got going on. Like I am a stickler for that, man, because there's so many out here that's missing out on their child growing up. Mm-hmm. And like that can leave a very damaging effect, man. Like it's hard, but
it's one day it's like, mm-hmm, you know them as a child, and now all of a sudden they're grown up and you don't know them anymore.
Exactly, man.
And it's not because y'all like they've changed, it's because you just wasn't there.
Yeah, man. Like, you gotta be present. Like, you know, you can sign them up for all these activities, but if you're not there rooting them on and supporting them in it, like it can go completely the wrong way. And there's a vice versa side of it. Like, you know, there's some parents who like over push their children.
Yeah, overbearing parents.
Yeah, like they're like, you gotta do this, you gotta be in violin, you gotta take piano, and like they don't even know.
As soon as them children get grown,
yeah, like like they don't even know what their child likes and dislikes. But just giving them that room to experiment what they like, you know, as long as it's not nothing that's harmful or wrong, like just give them that room to, you know, show what they like. Shoot, I remember I wanted to play video games professionally. My mom was like, I ain't here for that. Little did we know, now people are making millions of dollars streaming, and I'm like, man, missed out. But you know, man, it's a process to learn learn your kid, like, you know, having those daily discussions.
And I know for me, there's a lot of things I want to do and things I want to avoid. Like, I've learned a lot of things over the years with martial arts. Or things I've learned to do on my car. Things I've learned to cook. Things I've learned fishing. Like, I want to be able to teach my kids all of this stuff.
Yeah, man.
And hopefully I learn some more things.
Exactly.
Before they get here. So I want to be able to pour all this into them. Music.
Yeah, man.
Business.
Money management.
Money management.
At a young age.
Investing.
Man.
I want them to know about all this stuff. But at the same time, I don't want to project my desires on my child.
Exactly.
Like, things I wish I could have done at their age, I'm gonna project that onto them.
Nah, man.
I want to avoid that. That's one of the things I want to avoid. Like, there's certain things they're gonna have to learn. You know, it's necessities for life. But you know, I at the same time, I definitely want them to find their passion.
Yeah, man. Like,
I think a lot, and that's what it goes back. You know, the overbearing parent. You know, the ones who, they don't care what the child's passion is. That child's gonna do what that parent wants them to do.
Exactly.
And that's how the parents think. And you know, that's not. I mean, yeah, that may lead them to a successful life, but it won't be a happy one.
Yeah, that is true, man.
They'll be successful, sure, but success doesn't always bring happiness, especially if it's not if you're not successful in something you have a passion for.
Yeah.
It's successful, but you hate it every day.
Okay, like, man, we really gotta, like, you know, like I said, sit down and talk with our children, find out what they like, because, man, because you never know, one day it may bring them wealth. Like, there's a lot of opportunities even now for entrepreneurships. Like, you never know what your child may grow up to be, but if you cultivate them and manage them in the right way, like, there's no way they can fail, man. And at the same time, you really have to hand them over to God, because there may be times that they disappoint you. And in those times, you have to remember that God has them. God has their back. Because, like, man, children grow up. You know, they make their own decisions. Like, you have to really be in prayer for your children. Yeah,
One thing I don't want to forget is, like, when they mess up. Like, it's like you said, they are going to mess up. Like, you have to remember you messed up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, yeah, I messed up. You know, I can't get to the point. I don't want to ever get so successful or get so well off in my career and my goals and stuff that, you know, I forget that, hey, there was times I messed up as well.
Yeah, bro.
It's a part of life, you know what? And even when I am in that successful career, you know, we're doing our thing. Yeah. We still gonna mess up. Yep. You know, and so that same grace that we show ourselves, that God shows us, we got to make sure we show our children that same grace. Yeah. So they can and it's important that they learn from it. Yeah, that's my biggest thing. Did you learn from it? All right, good. Don't do it again. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna be less disciplinary and more lesson learning. Like, I think, you know, a lot of people, they'll just beat them and then just send them on their way, and they ain't really learned nothing. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Unless my child just like get straight flippy to mouth. Oh yeah. That's discipline area right there. You done stepped into the discipline zone. Yeah. But if it's something you did that was just like a stupid choice you made, exactly. That's an area to learn in. But if you just don't say something out the way, you have stepped into the disciplinary. Yeah, if it's something you know better, that you know you've been taught and it's been graded in you, like, yeah, you just made a conscious decision, to do it anyway. Oh no. Yeah, you gonna have to see me, son. Hey. Said lace up the boots. The gloves. Put them gloves on. Put your hands up. What, Daddy? Now defend yourself. But yeah, man, like fatherhood. And you know what, bro? I am excited. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm like, whew, boy. I ain't gonna lie, boy. When my future wife tells me we got one on the way, boy, I don't even. Can't even really imagine how I'm gonna feel. Yeah.
saying, bro. Like that's gonna be so interesting. Like, man.
Yeah, and then to watch him growing up, I mean, I see so many people I went to high school with. They got 2, 3, 4, some 5, 6, 7. I'm like, God dog.
Okay. Like,
and I'm like, boy, I'm like, but I'm glad I'm getting started off in the game late because there's, it took me. I can say for me, it took me a while to get to somewhere like mentally where like I realized there was so many things that I wanted to do. I didn't really think I could do, or I didn't think it was feasible. But now, honestly, I believe there's nothing that's truly not feasible. It's just it's all about execution and planning.
Oh yeah, man. Like it's.
So I mean, now that I still don't have no kids, I'm not married, man. I'm planning stuff, man. I'm about to be making moves. You about to tell me nothing.
Okay, like, man, and like a lot of people don't think like that. Some are single and out here just wilding. Like, man, it's about me, and me. Like, they don't have that vision to be like, man, one day I'm gonna have a family, so I want to set up an account for them before they're even born. Like, I want to have a fund where we can, have emergency fund. Where we can, plan vacations, like all of that, man. Like,
and if you're like in your 20s, late teens, and you're hearing this, even teenager, like, there's more than life than drinking, clubbing, smoking weed, and smashing, man. There's more to it than that.
Way more, man.
There's so much more stuff to see than going to your local hole in the wall and getting lit, man. There's so much more to life than that. And going to Atlanta just to go to a club that's playing the exact same music that you heard at your local club. I'm like, there's just more. There's so much more to see, man. Like,
man.
And I even would say some of y'all should really think twice about what y'all put on social media, because social media has gotten, like, camera phones have gotten so good that some of the videos look like you're almost there. So imagine 20 years from now you having children, y'all can find these videos still out. I'm sure they'll be able to find these videos and be like, Mama, ain't that you?
Okay.
Mama, you was a thought.
Now, when we married, this is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, but you ain't gonna find that on the internet, though.
No,
you know what I mean?
No.
I'm talking about these people that be posting videos of them cutting the fool in the club.
Yeah.
And carrying on.
Man.
There ain't gonna be no... you had parents back in the day that act like they didn't do that type of thing.
Exactly.
That's because they was able to keep it hidden. But now we live in a generation where 20, 30 years from now, you won't be able to keep what you did at this time hidden.
Okay.
Because you're going to be able to find all these videos on Snapchat and Facebook and Instagram. You'll be able to find this stuff 20, 30 years from now.
Man,
I mean, and it's gonna be good quality too. You won't be able to deny. You ain't gonna be able to deny that was you.
You tagged in it, like,
hey, Mama, you was tooting and booting, like, man. Like, y'all, it's more to life than that. And like, you just think about what type of, you look at yourself 10 years from now. If that's how you still want to see yourself, man, like, it's more to life to that than that. That's all I'm really saying, man. It's more to life to it. It
really is, man. Like, you really have to just stay away from foolish people.
Foolishness. Speaking of which, y'all already know what time it is.
Oh, yes.
It's Miss Me with the Foolishness. Odell
Beckham.
What's going on, brother? What? I don't know if y'all heard about this. And it's just, I'm just gonna go ahead and say he neither confirmed nor denied this.
Yep. He
just made a little pun, I guess you could say. Used a little football lingo, talking about pivots and things, and somebody throwing crap at him and all this other stuff. This man got put out there by this Instagram model?
Yeah, it was an Instagram model.
Some Instagram model, claiming that he asked her to defecate on him.
Take a bowel movement on his chest. Yeah, it happened. Like, yeah,
That's what she's saying.
that's what she said.
She even said he wanted what else she said? Don't take a shower for the last.
Yeah, like she was saying that he didn't want her to take a shower for the last 24 hours, not to wear no drawers. Like, pretty much, he just wanted her to be out here sweaty, musty, and funky, and drop a deuce on his chest. Like, come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. Like, and like you said, we don't know if it's true or not. But if it is,
He has neither confirmed nor denied this.
the only thing he posted about it is that can't knock me off my pivot, no matter what is thrown my way. So was it thrown his way? Is the question. I'm just saying, he's a wide receiver. Was he receiving something that was
Stinking it. Look, man, look.
like, bruh?
Y'all gonna see, it's something about money.
Mm-hmm.
It brings out the weirdness in people. People like people with money, like I think that's been it's been known for a long time, but it's not. I don't know if it's really addressed like that or not. But people who are rich people do weird things.
Yeah, and I'm like, why? Like, man, it's ridiculous out here in these streets.
I mean, is it because you got money? You just feel like, well, I'm gonna do it just
like
because
you
because I'm rich.
I'm
gonna do it because I'm rich.
Like, man, no, ain't enough money in the world to. Like I said before in a previous episode, I don't care how big it is. If it touches me, one of us has got to die. Like, I don't want to go back on that rant, but one of us has to die. If any type of feces or residue from
semen,
whatever, one of us has to die. Like, on sight. Like,
on God.
Me and God has already talked about this. I'm like, Jesus, if it has happened, I'm asking for forgiveness now. But if it happens, just know. And if I gotta go to court, I'm gonna tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Try Jesus.
Don't try me.
Cause I throw hands.
Like, man, that's just ugh. But
this was welcomed with open arms
and open butts.
Yeah.
Like, God talking. This 2020, man. 2020 has been a year.
Yeah. And wow, man, we still got more than 3 months left.
Yeah.
We got about 3.5 months left for this year, man.
Yeah, we almost at the end.
We almost at the end. It's been rough. We crawling, It's like we crawling to the finish line.
Okay.
But I just want to say, let us not be too eager to get to 2021. Because, I mean, quite honestly, we really don't know we wasn't expecting 2020 to hit like this.
Yeah.
So. But, yeah, I mean, all I'm saying is ain't no telling what 2020 go bring. So, I mean.
Yeah, man, 2021 is.
Oh, yeah, 2021 could be.
Like, you never know. That's why you have to stay prayed up, man. Stay in your word. Like, you have to build your faith. You can't let your faith be in man or anything else. Like, you really gotta seek God in all things and take it one day at a time, because you never know the hour.
Yeah.
Like,
nobody does. Yeah. So shout out to the real fathers out there.
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
And the real moms. I know it's not Father's Day nor is it Mother's Day, but I feel like shouldn't be a specific day that you just give them a shout out. So
yeah, man, definitely.
Shout out to y'all that are doing your thing. Not to the best of your abilities, but you relying on God to help you through these times.
Yeah.
And not just on the world.
Exactly.
Not relying on the world, but relying on God to help give you the wisdom to impart into your children.
Definitely, man. Like, it's so important, and like you said, we're thankful for every mother, every father that's on their job, that's doing what they're supposed to do, that's encouraging their children, that's allowing them to succeed in their own venues. Like, that's just pushing them to be better and better each day. Like, that's hearing them out, man.
Yeah.
Like, we're thankful for you guys.
Yeah.
Like,
Shout out to my parents.
Oh yeah, mine too. You know, like we both got good examples of, you know, a relationship and, you know, parents that know how to lead children, that know how to give good advice, that know how to have conversations and, you know, be genuinely concerned. Like, you know, we need that, especially during this year. But but yeah, man, we're appreciative to all the parents out there, on whether you're single, co-parenting, whether you're married, whatever. Like, if you're doing your job, I'm thankful. If you're not, just get on it.
Yeah, tighten up.
It's not too late, man. Like, this is the perfect time to really be on your job. And
It's only too late when you're dead and gone.
exactly, man. And you always got time. So.
And I just want to say this. This ain't really got nothing to do with fatherhood. But I don't want to get off into this rant. But this whole playing house thing is just beyond me.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be together for 10 years, living together. Done made a whole family. Got like 3-4 children.
But ain't locked it down.
But getting on one knee is so hard. And for some of them, not just getting on one knee, but actually going through with it and getting married. Like, that's so hard. Y'all can live together for 10 years. Y'all can start a family, get a whole crib. Both got both your names on the house. Y'all can do all of that. Got joint accounts.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Y'all can do all of that. But actually getting married is so hard.
Yeah, man. I've seen cases where people have, like you said, have shacked up for years, and then like they finally get married, and like the next year they were divorced. I was like, what? It's interesting how marriage takes a place in that type of thing. Like, it really creates you as one.
You know, honestly, I personally feel like, you know, we're going to get some people in to talk about this. I mean, because I haven't walked through it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say what I got to say about it. Either way, I don't give a flip what nobody think about it. Like, I personally feel like that people do that because they know that if they're not married, then all they got to do is say, I'm done, and just leave.
Exactly.
Okay. So
there's that safety net.
But with marriage, now they're committed. Now they are committed to working it out. So it could have been something petty, but they could have still said. But if they're not married, as petty as it was, they can just walk away, no problem. But now that they're married, they have to work it out, or they got to go through courts, and they don't like that.
Yeah, it's crazy out here, man.
Like, that's crazy. You can stay together for 10 years.
And I just want to say that there are good people out there. I know I've heard a lot of singles saying that, you know, there's not any good men, there's not any good women, but man, there are a bunch of good men and women who are ready for a relationship, who are ready for, you know, the next step, ready to build a family, ready to build wealth. Like, you never know who will come into your life and, like, even just challenge your mindset on things. Like, there are people out there designed for you. Like, God has someone for you. Trust and believe.
And don't be out here thirsty, man. Just Just because they go to church, just because they can quote a few scriptures.
Exactly.
And just because they look good does not mean they're the one for you.
Yeah, and, like, we really have to pray and seek God on who's the one for us. Like, you may like someone, but they may not be the one for you. And, like, you really got to look at the whole picture in God's eyes. Because you never know, man. Like, they can mark all the check marks that you have on your list. But God can be like, no, that's not what you need, though. So, you know, I encourage y'all to, you know, seek God, and especially in these relationships. Even if those of you who do have children, seek God in how to be a better parent, how to be better overall. Like, 2020, it's the perfect opportunity to seek God in all things, man.
Singles, seek God on how to maximize your time in this single season that you have. Like, how you can best utilize your time, you know, that you have until it's time for you to move into that marriage season.
Yeah, you got to thrive in your own happiness before you even find someone. Like, I truly believe God wants us to be, like, at a level where we're happy being single before he sends you that person. Like, you know, you have to really be settled in your singleness. Not saying that you're not looking, but at the same time, it's not the number one focus on your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God wants him to be the number one focus. And I believe when you achieve that focus of, God, what do you have for me today? God, what is your plan for my life? God, what should I do today? When you have that mindset, he'll send you someone, because your value goes up when you trust in him totally. Like, so, you know, if you're out here and you're feeling lonely, you're feeling like, God, it's been a long time, like, trust me, he has someone for you. You just got to trust his timing, trust, you know, that he's going to send you that person. Trust that, you know, he has your best interests at heart. Be patient and just seek him in all things. Like, build that relationship with him. That's what he truly wants. But yeah, we thank y'all for tuning in, man. It's been a good episode.
Yeah, and we want to shout out to everyone who participated in the giveaway.
Oh yeah.
The video came out on Sunday.
Yep.
The live, we announced the winner. So shout out to the winner.
Yeah.
And shout out to everyone who participated.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout, because that won't be the first one. That's not gonna be the last one we do.
Yeah.
And if you watched the live, go back. If you missed the live, you go back to the Parking Lot Parables page. We have a few announcements on there as well.
Yeah.
So just want to say, God bless. Y'all keep out the foolishness.
Oh yeah.
Keep the mess off your chest.
Yes.
For real though. Hit us up, parkinglotparables@gmail. You can follow me, Matthew Priest, on Facebook, Matthew E. Priest on Instagram, and Unprecedented MP on Snapchat and Twitter.
Oh yeah. You can follow me at The Chase Harden on all social media platforms.
And once again, I am Matt P.
And I'm Jeremy Chase.
One time.
Yes, sir.